Hello and welcome to GTFO. This is an incredibly fun fucking game. What this is, how do I want to describe this? You are one of, supposed to be a team of 4 people who are sent down into this area, this facility, this place, deep under the surface of Earth. And I think it's where the asteroid that hit the dinosaurs struck initially. That's where this complex is. And we're being sent down by an AI that's trying to get us to do some tasks and to survive and get out. As you can see, I've only done one of these. It took a team of 3, and boy is this game fucking brutal. This game is designed to be balanced around 4 people. I know there are some people who can do all of this single player. I'm not one of them because I suck at this game. But I really wanted to go ahead and show this off because those of you who have not seen anything about this game is amazing. If you have a couple of friends that you like difficult games, fucking go ahead and do this. Like, seriously do this. Let me see. Oh, okay, so this is just about the last update. I've never actually clicked on that before. But let's go ahead and let's just do the very first level called the Floodways. The Floodways are in lockdown. Override required to allow further recon. Unknown ceiling-dwelling biomass present. Prisoners failing to exercise caution will not be considered a loss. So there's a couple of little things in here. What this is that there's like different variants, basically, or different areas you can unlock that have this. And let's see. Crouch, move slowly, don't shine on them with your flashlight. It's pulsating, don't move. Drop cage target depth, 545 meters. You know, I'm not going to go ahead and elaborate on what exactly it is we're going to be facing. I'll just let you kind of see. And here we are, so this is us, and it's one of those games that kind of always forces you to be online, kind of like Phasmophobia used to, which is a shame. And then here is our gear. So we have main weapons, which I'm pretty comfortable with the assault rifle, because it's just sort of all around good. Secondary weapons, which are really good, but, well, mostly really good. They're just kind of specialty bullshit. The problem is that they don't really have a lot of ammo. This here is a deployable Sentry Gun, which is really fucking nice because it's basically a deployable sentry that staggers enemies. And we have a sledgehammer. So this game is interesting. This is basically Left 4 Dead with stealth mechanics. That doesn't do this game justice because this game is infinitely better than Left 4 Dead, but it's fucking phenomenal because there's a whole stealth mechanic here that certain enemies, certain creatures, we need to stealth our way to kill them. And if we don't stealthily murder them, it gets really, really bad. But yes, so this is us. We are actually a prisoner. We're a prisoner in this complex, and we're being dropped in. Now, normally, like in these other sections, there would be other people with us, but because of that, or because of the fact that this is a solo game, we're not. I didn't really want to bring someone else in for this. And artifact, yeah, so I don't know if you noticed on my character thing, there was like 3 slots. There was one that was like muted something in aggression or whatever. They're one-time use items that can go ahead and make the game a little bit easier. You know, they'll have different status effects, like, hey, if you're standing in the light, you'll like have better aim or something like that. I haven't found them too useful, but I mean, admittedly, I only have 5 or 6 of each, and most of them, the effects were like really strange. You know, there's one of them, like there's a scanning mechanic that if it goes ahead, I think one of them like makes you more damage resistant, but only when you're in scans. It's weird, but there we go. So our main objective, we have to find computer terminal 965 and find a way to lift the lockdown, and that's going to be difficult to do. And I'll actually kind of show this off. I'm just going to try to do one run and just see what happens. Although, like, if I do just get straight up murdered, I'll probably go ahead and, I just watched him spawn in. I've never actually seen them spawn in like that. I didn't know that it was possible for the game to be that delayed. Yeah, if I get, like, murdered in the first section, I'll go ahead and I'll just, like, reload back in. So what this game does is every map is basically identical. The trade-off is that all of the maps have semi-random locations. Like this here could be over here, it could be over here, or it could be somewhere else entirely. Oh yeah, so here's the Sentry Gun. So what it does is basically anything inside of the arc that's like outlined by that, it can in theory engage. And it goes for a pretty decent distance too. You know, it goes out to about Yeah, about where I'm standing now. So yeah, anything that runs up, I'm just putting that up because I'm playing solo, so if I end up getting overrun, I'm going to need somewhere to pull back to. But here we go. This is the basic enemy. I don't know what exactly they are, but what they are human beings that are infested with some bullshit. You can kind of see there. Yeah, you can see like their hands have mutated, they're covered in bullshit. There's actually a couple of different variants of the enemy in here. So there's these guys who have like the black pustules on them. And I want to see if I can go find another one, because the other one is like a really horrific design. It's very Thing-esque. Actually, yeah, that guy right there might be an example. So you might have noticed that they occasionally like kind of perk up a bit. Yeah, let me see. Can I... Yeah, look at that guy. His head is like split open into a maw. So yeah, you'll notice when they perk up, their bodies actually light up on the inside. So what that is when they're normally crouching, I can go ahead and walk around and be fine as long as I'm crouched. If they're perked up, they're basically in like an additional sensitivity state. They're listening or they're looking. And if you go ahead, if you shine a light on them during that, or if you keep on moving, they'll go ahead and if you move too much, they'll basically trigger. And once they trigger, then they start attacking you. Now, if you're quick, you can go ahead and fight off the horde, or you can kill the one that's triggered before everything starts to go to hell. If you don't, though, if you're not quick enough, if they like attack you, or if they make noise that alerts one of their friends, yeah, you'll it'll get really bad. So you might have noticed, so I picked up some glow sticks earlier. They're okay. They're somewhat useful. Enemies do trigger if a flashlight is shining on them. They don't trigger if you have a glow stick. So glow sticks have a limited amount of use, but instead what I got is a fog repeller. So you might notice that it's a little bit foggy around here. Well, if I go ahead and if I chuck this down, what it does is it goes ahead and it basically pushes the fog back for a distance. Now the problem is that these only last for a minute, but there are certain portions of this game where that is damn handy. And also, over here, there's a locked crate. Oh, perfect. Here we go. This is actually a good example of something I really want. So, the locked crates, what they normally... in my experience, they normally tend to have slightly better stuff, but they can just have, like, glow sticks or anything kind of more worthless in them. What this gave me is a refill pack. So, there's 3 types of packs in the game. There's a medical pack, there's an ammo pack, which those do exactly what you would think. These tool packs, though, what they do is they're actually used to refill your utility items. So there's a couple different things that you can have. So obviously there's various types of sentries. There's also a thing called the seafoam launcher, and what that does is it launches this like sticky foam that you can use to seal up doors and to do stuff like that. And what it's useful for stopping enemies from attacking, and it also delays creatures from rushing you. They get kind of caught up in the goo. And then there's also one of the more useful items, in my opinion, is basically a deployable trip mine launcher. It only holds a few rounds at a time, even if it's a maximum percentage. You can see all of my gear is listed as percentages, not like ammo count. But it's still damn useful because when these guys come at you in a horde, they come at you in a horde. There's like 80, 90 plus of them sometimes if you're really unlucky. And you need everything you can get, but what they can do is they can actually break through the doors. But if you go ahead and if you make it so they cluster up at a door, like you close the door and then they have to start trying to break through it, and then when they break through and then rush in, the trip mine can occasionally kill like 7, 8, maybe even 10 or 12 of them if you're lucky. And also this is just one of the artifacts. It just gives you artifact stuff, and once you get enough of those, you kind of earn one. I think artifact heat, which the game talked about a couple times now, I want to say that has something to do with like how common artifacts are, maybe? I don't remember exactly how they work. But yeah, I'm actually getting kind of lucky here, because it looks like... Yeah, it looks like a lot of the enemies that would maybe potentially be around here actually aren't. Oh, here we go. Cool, there's a medkit. That actually has 3 uses. Now, I've gotten lucky so far, so I don't really need one. But I might end up needing one in the near future. Oh, yeah, so... there is something else too. So I talked about the fog being present. Yeah, if you're in fog like this, which is actually what this whole lower section is like, it's really easy to accidentally stumble into a creature. That's why I threw the fog repeller down. It's not that useful unless you're trying to stealth around and murder the monsters, but again, I figure I have it here and I wanted to go ahead and show it off to you guys anyway. But yeah, this is by far probably one of my favorite party games, for lack of a better phrase. When you have like 2 or 3 other people and you're all just kind of bored and you want to go just pick up a game and play it together, this would be very, very high up my list. I mean, honestly, the only real caveat to it, in my opinion, is that it's only a max of 4 players. There's no real way to have more than that. You know, the game just outright won't let you, which does kind of suck, because this game, well, I mean, it kind of sucks in the sense that obviously more friends is better, but it also is understandable because the game, the game is, the game is entirely balanced for 4 people. Like, I'm not playing a version of the game right now that, like, the game isn't spawning fewer enemies because there's only one of me. What's happening because of the fact that there's only, or because I'm getting kind of lucky with my spawns, all that's happening is I'm basically going to have to deal with them later. I'm just going to have to, and it's gonna really suck if I have bad luck. I want to see something. This door here, where do you lead? Okay, so yeah, this door leads back to this area where we just were. This is where I threw that one fog repeller up top. Yeah, and it's kind of cool too. The maps often have like a variety of ways to go. So if you're kind of, or if you're like, sometimes you can go ahead and you can open up a door. Oh shit. Yeah, so you see that guy there, he got alerted because I shined a light on him, so he's like looking around. But yeah, sometimes you can open up a door and there might be like 6 or 7 enemies on that side of the door. Most of the time, you can actually go loop around. You can go find an alternate route, and then you can go ahead and potentially like clear out the backside, and then you just have to shoot the enemies. Or maybe you can use it to get like a better angle on popping a couple of them in the head. Yeah, we're almost certainly going to end up seeing a circumstance where I inadvertently hit someone that I shouldn't have. Like in this room, for example. Yeah, so you'll notice that there's like 7 or 8 of them here in the middle. Yeah, this is a big fucking problem, because if... oh, shit. Yeah, you'll notice that like all of them are kind of doing that. What really sucks is when they all go ahead and they all start searching... yeah, they all start searching in like an offset pattern. I don't know that I have the capability of doing this. Yeah, I don't think I do. I think if I try to do this, I'm going to end up dead. But yeah, so you can see, like, that one went, then this guy went, then this one went, and they will just randomly search. Oh shit, I didn't realize he was triggered, fuck. Yeah, and that's what happens when they're, like, partially alerted. But yeah, like, if you're unlucky, it's really easy to find yourself in a circumstance where you can't really do anything.
We got sleepers.
Yeah, I'm trying to pop this guy. If I can get lucky. Shit. Ah, shit. Nope, okay, well that's a problem. Okay, yep, we're closing off the door. So, we wanted to see what happens when I fuck up. This is what happens when you fuck up. Those guys, they start bashing through the door, and they're gonna plow through that in a couple of seconds. And now we go ahead and we get very fucking loud. Yeah, there is also a minor problem here, in that the enemies are very, very dangerous. They do a lot of damage to you. And these guns are kind of useless. Which really does suck, because honestly, I kind of wish the weapons were better. Like, it would be really nice if the weapons were a little bit more lethal to them, but, you know, I guess it is understandable why they're not. Oh shit. Yeah, and of course there are also ranged enemies, which, again, kick my ass. I want to actually pull back a bit, yeah. I also am probably going to need to go find that medkit, because that medkit is going to be really fucking useful. Now, there is one thing that I would love to get a chance to ask the developers. Why do they run like weebs? I mean, truly, it makes no sense to me why they run with their arms back like that. I don't really understand it. And I would love to know if there was like a rationale for it, or if they just thought it would be funny or what. But, yeah, I'm actually gonna probably pull back to here and just kind of hope that the... Yeah, I'm gonna just kind of hope that the turret can do some of the work for me. Oh shit, hang on, let me throw that out. Maybe that'll go ahead and that'll clear out some of the fog for me. Alright, oh shit. Yep, there we go. So you can see the turret actually does a not insignificant amount of work. Ah, fuck. Yeah, and you can obviously tell that I'm kind of getting my ass kicked. Oh, go away. Now, there is also another problem here, though. Yeah, the turret can shoot me, too. So let me actually... Yep, there we go. So what I should have done, and I didn't really want to just because it looks kind of awkward and I don't have time to explain it, there is a pretty easy method to going ahead and fighting hordes, and the typical phrase for the community is called kiting. Basically what you do is you do a charge-up attack, because a full charge will kill any basic enemy if you bonk them on the head with it, and you keep on sprinting past them. Because what happens is the enemy attacks are basically always going to hit you if you're in front of them. So like when I was backpedaling away from that one enemy, the guys who like run up and then they shoot some weird tongue out that attacks you, that was basically the worst option. I just was doing it because that was kind of the easiest way to, but it's really not what you're supposed to do. It's a bad idea. So instead, what you're supposed to do is basically walk up, you run up to them with a charge, and then you go ahead and you smack them with it as you sprint past. And what that does is that balances out really nicely, because you can basically kill like one of them every time that you go by. So yeah, that's it's very difficult to do though, because especially if there's multiple enemies or they're not like all in basically a conga line, you end up really screwed. Also, I ended up swapping over, so I have a big flashlight now. So my normal flashlight is this little guy, which is kind of worthless. This is the big boy flashlight. It's really useful when you're searching for shit. It's not very useful when you're actually dealing with enemies, because obviously they will see the flashlight and get triggered. Oh, and here we go. I was wondering when we were going to find one of these. So this is a normal box. What it is it's locked. So we have to hack it. And what we have to do is we have to click when the mouse is in, or when the line is in the middle there. Oh, hello. Ammo pack, don't mind if I do. Yeah, you have to go ahead and click it when it's in the middle there, because if you don't, it'll actually make a loud noise. And that noise can and will alert enemies. So if I had done that in there before, like, the whole room was full of creatures, and if I had failed that hack, it makes like a loud beeping noise, you can actually end up triggering the whole crowd of them. You can trigger one, which will then alert all the others. It's not very good. But also, this is the door that we're going to need to get to later. So, you know how our objective was to find terminal 965 or whatever and go ahead and open it up? And find out sort of where, or find a way to undo the lockdown? That door is what's in lockdown, and that's what we actually need to find a way to undo so we can progress forward. But first things first, I need to go find that goddamn medkit. Here we go. And I'm going to go ahead and pop these. So there is one thing about this game that does kind of help with this balancing too. Your health will always regenerate up to a minimum of 20%. As long as your health isn't below 20%, as long as your health is below 20%, you're fine. Or as long as your health is below 20% and you don't end up getting like attacked more, because I think the regeneration is on a timer. Again, I can't fucking speak. It's been a long day. It's end of month for my job, and for any of you who work finance jobs, you know what end of month is like. And for those of you who don't, end of month fucking sucks for finance jobs. But, yeah, oh yeah, so anyway, as I was saying, the whole, like, regenerating health thing, it is really nice, because it means that as long as you can, if you can survive by the skin of your teeth, you can still go ahead and basically keep on fighting. So oftentimes if I find myself kiting a big crowd and I go ahead and I'm like running away and then I get down to 8% health, I'll just kind of run around like I was doing earlier. And I'll get over to some part of the map, I might shoot a few of them as they get close and then just flee behind and then just kind of flee past it. So this is actually the way we need to go. Let's go ahead and pop you quick. And let's see, how many... Is there anyone in this room? Because this room sometimes will have enemies, it sometimes won't. Okay, I don't see anyone in here. So what I want to do is go here. So this is actually a terminal. Now this is terminal 124, but this is a really cool thing because you actually have to type. You actually have to use it. So that tells us what to do. So this is just saying that we can use it. And if we do commands, these are all of the things that we can see. So let's see. There is that log. So we can actually go ahead and we can read the log, which I've never actually done. So I'm just kind of curious what that looks like. Can I go ahead and actually read that opening file? Let's see. Warning temperature alert. Temperature exceeding about 39°C. Safety complete, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Yeah, so I've actually never seen this before. I've never bothered to look. Another one of the people I play with normally does the terminal stuff. But yeah, we actually get a little bit of lore to this. So basically, this facility, whenever this outbreak occurred that transformed these people, it did this. It started shutting down systems. So if we go back and do commands, we can actually see there's a few more things. So there's obviously clear screen, exit, etc. What we really want, though, is we want ping and query. But first, I'll just show off lists. So what a list does is that shows all of the items that are available in this entire map. So you can see there's really everything that's pingable, which is a lot of stuff. So like obviously doors. So if our objective is go through door 590, I can actually go ping it, and what'll happen is it will show up on the map for me. But you can also see there's a bunch of other stuff. There's boxes, there's med kits, there's lockers, there's a whole slew of items, ammo packs, and this is really useful when you have a whole team and you're trying to find something. So if you're all low on ammo, you can be like, hey, there's 3 ammo packs here, we need to try to ping them. And I think it roughly goes from the top of the list, once it gets like items like this, on down. I think it starts at the start of the map and goes onward. So like down at the bottom there where it says tool refill 601, I'm pretty sure that if I go into there and I do tool refill 601, it'll show a lot further in the map. And then yeah, all of this stuff will be even later on. So first things first, actually I want to back out of here. So it's terminal 965. So if I go ping terminal 965, it goes ahead and it tries to find it, but you can see it's timing out and it's not in this zone. So what that means is, sorry, I have that new keyboard, and it actually is like slightly wider than my old one. So like I can't really tell just by feel where the keys are. I kind of have to relearn how to type. So yeah, you can see where we are right now is we're in zone 61, and then there's like 61E, there's 61D, this is 61B. So what we have to do is actually get to a further zone to try to find the terminal we need. So instead, if we do a query, and we query terminal 965, let's go find out where it is. Yeah, so it's in zone 63, and basically, we're not going to be able to do anything until we get to zone 63 to find it. Which is a really cool way of doing things. I actually really like that. But anyway, I have to go into this room now, because this room is going to have the first of the scans that I talked about. Just looking around, sometimes these like little laboratory type rooms here, these greenhouses, they actually will have stuff in them. They'll have boxes or whatever, but we go into here, there's a security scan. Now, luckily, this one doesn't have any issues. This one doesn't spawn in a bunch of bullshit. There are some of these that will actually just outright say they have like an alarm on them or there's motion detected behind them, and it makes life absolute hell. Okay, so let's go do something really stupid quick. Okay, I don't see anything right around me here. Now the problem though is that every room that I go in that I don't really encounter enemies that I normally would, that just means that the enemies are building up and they're going to be later, kind of like that one room that had like 7 of them stacked up that I had to worry about. Oh shit. Okay, yeah, there we go.
Sleepers.
I love the audio design of these creatures. I mean, they do such a good job of just being like very visceral. Yeah, it's like this creaking groan, and it's really disconcerting, and it's really damn excellent. I mean, the sound design of this is just wonderful. Oh yeah, so you can also see here, these are people that were like mid-transition into the creatures. Yeah, there's some interesting like lore stuff that we can kind of piece together as we go on, or that you can probably just read. And it basically suggests that whatever this infection is, whatever thing it is that took these people over, it makes them very, very, what is it? It's not like light phobic, but they basically, it hurts them to look at light. So if they see light, it actually hurts their eyes. You'll notice that all of them are kind of like huddled over, bent over, keeping their eyes down. And that's probably also why they react so violently to the light, because it hurts them. Okay, anything down here? Oh, yes, definitely. Jesus Christ, okay. Yeah, that was stupid. See, I'm making dumb choices because I'm an idiot. Okay, game, come on, calm down. I'm just standing here, buddy. It's okay. Okay, I was gonna say, I need your buddy not to pop here. Oh yeah, too. So you might notice that when I'm charging this up, you'll see that the circle is large. When you get close enough to enemies, it actually gets smaller, which is a really nice way of indicating that you're close enough to hit, because melee in first person, especially in games like this, is always a little bit fluky. I think we've all probably played a game where you take a swing with a melee weapon in a first person environment and then it just completely whiffs. Like, I think I did that a lot during the Condemned playthrough. And it was always a little bit weird. But I mean, it does kind of make sense. So let me see something. Yeah, okay, so like that there, I just accidentally clicked, and that was the noise that it made when you fail. So that noise, if I hadn't gone ahead and cleared all the enemies out of here, almost certainly would have triggered a whole bunch of them. So we're now in a bit of a rough spot though, because there's enemies down here. So what I actually kind of want to do is I want to go up top first. I want to go look for any enemies. I want to look for anyone that I need to eliminate. And yeah, what will often happen when somebody's playing this game, they'll go ahead and they'll do like those little tap bursts. So that way they can go ahead and kind of see what's in front of them without necessarily triggering the enemy to a like fully alert state. There are some areas as you play, like there will never be an enemy here, for example. But yeah, there could be an enemy there. Hang on, was there one or two of them here? Oh no, there was just one and that was just a weird angle, okay. Yeah, and also, whenever you get close to the enemies, they always do like a semi-alert scan, where they're looking around trying to find out if anything's near them. So it's always just sort of a good idea to go ahead and make sure that you're not... Oh yeah, once you get close to them, just go ahead and stop for a second. Yeah, I mean, it's 100% of the time. Okay, so hang on. So I got that guy there. I think, yeah, there's at least one more past him, and then I think there's the guy down at the end. So let me see. Can I pop you? Ah, shit. Okay, well, let's go ahead and try that kiting strategy I talked about. Yep, so because I kind of was running straight at them, that really didn't work too well, but... Yeah, shit. Okay, I need to get somewhere that has better lighting so I can actually see what's around me. So if I go turn around, bop you, and just keep on running, yeah, you can sort of see what I'm talking about there, where if you're good at it, you don't go ahead and you don't really take the damage from it. But it is difficult to do right, especially if you're kind of incompetent and you're really shit at games like I am. Yeah, come on, buddy. Yeah, but again, I think as long as you hit them in the head or like the upper torso, kind of like the collarbone area and stuff, it's pretty much always a guaranteed kill, which is really flippin' nice. What I probably should have done there, and I probably should have done it just to show it off to you guys, I should have gone in and probably... you know what? I am going to grab this. I'm not going to use it quite yet, but I might end up needing it in a couple of minutes. What was I saying, though? Something words. I don't remember. Something about bopping them in the head or upper torso, and then it's a guaranteed kill as long as it's a basic enemy, and as long as there is enough, or as long as you're fully charged. Oh yeah, so these are log melters. So what these will do is they will relatively quietly take out the locks, so that way if you don't want to sit there and hack something, like if you just kind of aren't great at it or whatever, you can go ahead and deploy this, and it won't really trigger the enemies, which was good because in here. This had a bulkhead key, so what that is actually like a bonus item that we can go ahead and use down the road. We can go ahead and actually unlock different parts of the map. It's not gonna be until the very end of this particular area, which I'm not gonna end up surviving to. I mean, I'm just not. I don't even know that it's necessarily possible for me to survive to it. Like, I'm sure that there is someone somewhere who has, but I'm just not good enough at this game to do that. Yeah. So, you'll also notice that this is a very similar layout. So they do a really kind of smart way of recycling the maps, which I really do like, because it ends up kind of allowing the players to be semi-familiar with things, even if it's not necessarily guaranteed to be the same. You know, so obviously, like, the area upstairs didn't have a crate with an artifact in it, but it did have this same basic layout. But, you know, enemy spawns are always somewhat random, and then item placements are always somewhat random. So it does add a nice amount of variety to the game, which actually works really damn well. And then you can always go ahead and have to explore. It is pretty nice. Now, this particular map I have played a few times, and I've actually beaten it twice. So I didn't really want to go ahead, or I don't really want to act like like this map is just super easy, because it's not. I think we probably played it 13 or 14 times before we beat it the first time, and then myself and one guy who was familiar with this, we actually brought another guy in who had never played before, and we died 3 or 4 times before we beat it then. So I mean, yeah, this game is extremely difficult if you're not very, very careful. So let me think, what else do I need to do here? I know I need to go through there, and you'll notice that it talks about it said earlier on, you know, use clues in your environments to find a way to Zone 63. So you'll notice we're in Zone 62B. So if we go down here, yeah, next area is 62D, and then it leads to 63. So that's sort of what they're saying when they say use the environment to find, you know, to find out clues about how to get there. And here we go. So this is going to be the first hell room. This room is going to suck, and this room is going to suck for a number of reasons, not the least of which is the fact that it has a whole bunch of enemies that are very, very difficult to clear out entirely. Okay. Ah, hell. So, as I was saying, yeah, very, very difficult to clear out all the enemies quietly, especially if you're slightly incompetent like I am. Yeah. Now, the good news, in some sense, is that they all kind of have to run through the turrets, and the particular turret that I choose has a stagger effect. The downside is that it bleeds through ammo. But I guess that is admittedly kind of less of a downside than it could be, just because of the fact that I'm playing alone. You know, if I was playing with 3 other people, having to balance, you know, whose turret has what. Hey, a box over there I didn't even get. Yeah, having to balance who would get what in their turrets and such would actually be really goddamn difficult. Shit. Okay, you know what? We're going to switch over to the shotgun. Yeah, the shotgun is a absolute godsend. Like I said earlier on, the real trade-off with it is that it doesn't really have a lot of ammo. You know, it only has like about 3 magazines worth, 3 magazines and change, which isn't particularly useful. You know, if you can go ahead and it's very, very easy to run out. And the problem with the ammo packs is that I think they just distribute the ammo kind of equally between the things. So if you go ahead and if you know, if my shotgun was full, but my assault rifle was empty, using the ammo pack on the assault rifle or on myself would actually be a waste, because the bullets would just be spent without really having. I would basically be wasting the extra 25% or whatever of the ammo that I would get. Which, again, is another thing that it kind of keeps you on your toes and makes you always have to, you know, keep your eyes open, make sure that you're not using one gun too much. Now that being said, the assault rifle, really easy to blow through ammo with, so not really a super big concern for me. So I'm trying to find a way to... I'm trying to find where I left that one med kit, because I would like to just top off with that. But I don't remember where the hell I found it, and also you can tell it's very, very easy to get kind of turned upside down in here. Actually, you know what? Yeah, if this area is clear, I can go ahead and use this. Oh, hello. Well, there's another box. Yeah, shit. Where did I find that medkit? Or where did I find that one, where did I find that toolkit? Wasn't it down here somewhere? Yeah, here we go. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and use you. Try to keep myself alive as long as possible. Because, yeah, after... Oh, oops. Yeah, after this is probably where I'm going to risk dying the most. So, yeah, the other good news, though, is that because I went ahead and fucked up and I triggered the fight, this will... I'm pretty much fine to go wander around. It's very easy to trigger an entire room full of enemies. Like, unless it's a really big room, like the area after the first scan, it's pretty easy to go ahead and trigger enemies on one part of the room, then maybe at like the far end they might not, especially if it's just the melee guys. Especially if you don't shoot your guns, if you all just kind of charge in with melee. But it's also easy to not do that and then suddenly find yourself fighting 2 or 3 rooms worth of assholes. Hello. Oh, yes. Beautiful. That is exactly what I want. I'm gonna use you later. So I talked about the seafoam stuff. What that is instead of having it as a gun, you can actually get a grenade that launches it. Or a grenade that, like, basically explodes into the seafoam. It's incredibly useful. Probably one of the better items in the game, especially if you only have 3 people. Because, in my experience at least, using the seafoam grenades is better overall, and then having a mine launcher or another sentry versus having just... what am I trying to say? Versus having like one sentry gun, one mine launcher, and a seafoam launcher. And that seems to be pretty typical for like how people play this too. A lot of people seem to say that the seafoam launcher isn't particularly useful. Alright, so now we just have to go into the pit here. And the pit is a lot of fucking fog. I mean, it is dense fog. And what I'm looking for is a way to power up this generator. Now, I don't know if you noticed it when we were looking at the list of items. There was something called cells. What they are battery cells that are used to jumpstart the generators. Normally, and I would say, I mean, honestly, about 95% of the time, they happen to be in here. They are not in here, which really, really blows. At least not as far as I can tell. They're not in any of the usual spawns, but I want to go check a couple others just to see. Yeah, because that means that I have to go find that terminal that's outside of here, and I need to go start looking for one. Which is not going to be fun, because it's very, very difficult to look for those, because you kind of always have to, like, you have to go find one, you have to type it in, then you have to search for it, then you have to hope like hell that you see the ping. So yeah, let me go see. Let's look up a list of items. What do we have? Yeah, I'm looking for the first cell. Cell, okay, cell 658 is what I want. Ping cell 658. Okay, so... let me see. It's Zone 62, Area D. Okay, Zone 62, Area D. Where is 62D? Let me see. So here's 62B. I want to kind of go look around and see, because if I can get... oh, hang on. No, wait, 62D was in... interesting. 62D was actually this room. Yeah, it was. Okay, so it is somewhere in here. Interesting. Let me go... I'm going to go actually re-ping it. Now, the good news is that you don't have to sit there. I was just... again, because I don't really know this keyboard well. I fucked up backing out. But the good news is that you can actually just press up, and then it's there. So, the hell? Yeah, it's supposed to show up. I don't know why. For me, it only occasionally does. Yeah, okay, there we go. Interesting. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you do have to sit there. Maybe you do have to watch for it the whole time. So it's somewhere over there.
Holy shit, this place is huge.
Yes, it is. I'm also kind of surprised that he didn't just say that the first time. Oh, here we go. Okay. Yeah, this is the battery cell. And the problem is that we actually can't shoot while we're carrying it, which is a bit of a problem, but luckily there is no enemies around here. Although, generally speaking, this is actually kind of a weird game in the sense that it's actually better to kill off pretty much everything around you before you try to go trigger things. Because enemies that are on the rest of the map, if an alarm goes off, will come after you. So if I had gone just straight here, and then I triggered off an alarm, all of the enemies would just come right for me. They would just come gunning for me. And there wouldn't really be a whole lot I could do. I could just go get fucked, basically. Which would really, really suck. So, I want this seafoam grenade, and I'll actually give a chance to show you guys what's going to happen here. I'm probably not going to survive this, because this is an extremely tough fight to do, especially considering I have no explosives or anything, but... So you saw how the enemies would breach through a normal door? Let me take this, chuck it at the door, and it goes ahead and it seals up, it foams up. And that is actually really goddamn useful, because they have to break through that before they can break through the rest of the door. With the hordes we're fighting, not really going to be that useful, but honestly, might as well. But anyway, so here we go. Class 2 cluster alarm detected. Now, luckily, it looks like on the other side there might not be tons of enemies, but this is going to suck because I have to stand in the scanner, and then there's also going to be these little scan zones that I'm going to have to make my way through later. I'm going to have to kind of plow through these, and we're actually going to have to follow this mark. Yeah, shit. Okay, this fucking sucks. This is like actually worst case scenario, because these scans all have to be done individually. And with one person, it's extremely difficult to do, especially considering that some of them were like lower down. Okay, come on, I need to get... Oh, shit. Oh, this is super fucking bad. Okay, see the big guy? He's probably gonna kill me. Yep, okay, this is bad. This is incredibly, incredibly fucking bad. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Again, you can see, my, the problem with the turret that I chose is that it's not particularly accurate. Yep, and there we go. I got killed. But that was GTFO. Expedition failed, but I got some artifacts, so at least I can kind of do better. And yeah, so you see booster progress, basically, the more of them you get, the better off this is, and I think that's based on artifact heat or something. And yeah, if you get one, you'll be rewarded with a random booster. Yeah, extremely difficult game. So muted stim shot. Let's go take a look at what that one does. So stim shot. Yeah, okay, so special weapons do more damage, but I have to be close to people. So it's obviously useless to me. This one just has more trip mine damage, which wasn't particularly useful. This one has melee resistance, but I have to be close to people. Yeah, you can see sort of how those work. Or also there's like some aggressive ones, you know, sentry damage and tracker speed, which I don't actually use. But, you know, I take more damage from projectiles. I regenerate more, take more damage from projectiles, all of that stuff. But yeah, I mean, this is a fucking phenomenal game. I am incredibly happy that some friends convinced me to get this. Definitely worth, like, the $30 I think that they ask for. If you like this type of game, it is incredibly unforgiving, but if you have at least 3 people to play it with, highly, highly recommend it. I mean, this is incredibly fun. It's incredibly well made. I love the world building that's going on here. I mean, this is just, it's so good. Really, the only problem that I think anyone could realistically have is that it is somewhat frustrating, especially if you get towards the end of a game and then you just die. you have to redo everything, but I mean, so it is kind of roguelike in that sense. And I mean, it is an unforgiving as hell game. But by and large, it's very rare for me to ever feel like, there's an unfair fuck up. Games like Left 4 Dead always pissed me off because they felt really poorly balanced. This feels incredibly well balanced and is a ton of fun. And it's always like, oh no, we alerted people. We can pretty much always, we could take a snapshot and know what happened. It's always like, hey, you didn't see the guy who was around the corner, or, you swung and there was somebody that we just missed, or we missed our damage, or we didn't charge up enough, or we were careless with our ammo, so we ran out. It's always stuff like that. And it's so damn good. I mean, this is phenomenal. I would highly recommend people play this. And so, that was GTFO. If you enjoyed the video, if you wouldn't mind, please leave a like or leave a comment. How did you guys feel about the game? For those of you who have played it, how did you feel about it? Has the game gotten better or worse with time if you get into it early? Or, did any of you want to buy this now? Did any of you think that this was cool enough to go ahead and play? And if you're new to the channel, if you enjoyed the video, if you wouldn't mind subscribing, I would really, really appreciate it. And for everybody else, thank you very much for watching GTFO. I hope you enjoyed, and I look forward to seeing you in another video very soon.